Good evening, everyone. Bananga, but watching people who follows our education. Today we are back also as peer educators. Banange tubebaza, and we believe what we talk, it is a benefit to you people. So today we are talking about menstrual health and how you can manage, how a girl or a woman can manage her body during that period or towards the periods. Kati menstruation twagambye kwe kubeera abaganda babayita kugenda mu nsonga. Kati lero we are talking about that. So I will focus mostly on the signs when people are in their periods, menstruation periods. Sometimes many people complain a lot. Atoma abeera mu kizibu n'alowooza akala abeera mu bulumi n'alowooza oba kibi. So kubeera mu nsonga n'olumizibwa, it is normal. Being in your periods and you feel cramps, you feel pain, it is normal. And also a normal period oyinabeera mu nsonga from 3 to 7 days. Ekinene nnyo 3 to 7 days. Awo tobeera na buzibu. So I want to tell this to people who have just gone in their period for the first time. Someone may go in her period, like let me say in April, it is your first time to be in that period as a girl. And then since it is your first time, you may even take some 6 months before you go in it again. That won't be abnormal. It is normal to people who, if it is your first time, it is normal. Then your second time and other days, it starts to happen every month. But to most people, when it is your first time, you can take some 3 months or 6 months without going in it again. Then after the 6 months, you start to go in it again. That is not abnormal, it is normal to someone when it is your first time. Then also there is changes. Sometimes we may say, every month, if you've been going it maybe we normally talk about 28 days, but sometimes it changes. Me, I've been noticing it. Sometimes even the environment matters. If you've been in Kampala, when you go away from Kampala to maybe Kotido or northern part, your days will change. Have you ever noticed that? It is like when someone is feeding on food. When you've been feeding on food and you change, there is some change you get in your body. So in our periods, when you change a place, the days also changes. If you've been getting it towards the end of the month, this time it can even change. Yeah, the environment determines sometime the temperature, because when your temperature changes, there is also how your hormonal movement changes. Yes. So another thing also about the normal signs of menstrual, sometimes when someone is in it, some people feel pain, some don't. So if most people cry that, sometimes me, I'm always crying when I'm in that period, and then the other person is normal. It is also fine and a chance when you don't feel that pain. Some people even go on drips when they are in there. Yes, but it's normal. It's normal. Our bodies, remember, we don't feed on the same food. We don't feed on the same, the environment also. So even our hormones, how can I say, our white blood cells are not the same. So you won't express what? Yes. It is like if you're number one in class, it doesn't mean it is a must also to be number one. Yes, so those things are always like that.
Thank you so much. You may be having maybe cramps this month, and then after a certain period of time, and cramps differ. This time round, zizokwanga zikulumisa lubuto, next time zikulumisa mugongo, next time zikulumisa joints, and it's the same person. You're still very normal. However, obulumi, if there is too much pain, obulumi bungi nyonga bw'amaanyi, you're advised to see a medical worker maybe you could be having some other different problems, so you need to see our health worker. Ngobulumi bungi nnyo nga tosobola kyebera, you are advised to see a health worker and you see how to go about it. We've seen that a normal period, our colleague Jen has told us that a normal period, it has to last between 3 to 7 days. So if you have a period of 1 day, I think you should see a medical worker. I suppose you see a medical worker and a gynecologist and see how you can go about it. If you have periods of 10 days, 15 days in a month, then I also believe you have to see a medical worker. Naturally, what she had forgotten, I think, to tell you is that you can have 2 periods in a month, and it's very normal, depending on your cycle. There are some people that have 25 days cycle. When I talk about a menstrual cycle, I mean the period between the first day of your menstruation to the next first day of your next menstruation. I don't know if I'm being clear. In that, in June, let's give an example of June, you start your periods on 1st, and then in July you start your period on 3rd of July. I mean the period between the first day you started your menstruation this month and the first day of your menstruation next month. That's the menstrual cycle, and a lot of things happen within the menstrual cycle. If you have a menstrual cycle of 25 days, it simply means that every 25 days the cycle repeats itself. If you started your period on 1st, let's take an example of March. March has 31 days. You start your periods on 1st of March, they take around 3 days. It means if your cycle is of 25 days, by 25 March, your cycle is done. So you're most likely to begin your period again on 26th of the same month, March, or 27th. So the cycle repeats itself within the same month. So it is very normal. It's very good to learn your menstrual cycle. It's very good to learn, because if you manage to curb your menstrual cycle, no manyanti on this date I might start my periods. Obera ready. You have your pad with you. You know how to handle your mood swings. Abawala mbera ne mood swings during menstruation, and it is very normal. Benyiza bakambwe abamu, you know, tebagala kwogera, tebagala bawunyiriza nnyo, basesema. But then it's so normal. It's very normal. So when you know I'm starting my period maybe in a very short time from now, you get ready. You get ready for such inconveniences like mood swings. You carry your pad with you. Maybe some people take painkillers for their cramps. You get ready with it. So it's very good to study your menstrual cycle. It's very normal to have a menstrual cycle of when you're having cramps. It's very normal to have a menstrual, but then it's not normal if you've ever given birth. If you've ever given birth and you're having cramps during your periods, it's not normal. It simply means that you're having a UTI or you have an infection and you need to see a medical worker. These cramps are only normal for girls that have not yet given birth. Neo banga wazala konga cramps zichakuluma, it means you have to go and visit a medical worker. Nechidala, the color of this blood, we all know the normal color of blood. If you're having something that is different, then I think you're supposed to see a medical worker. Some people have periods that the blood is black, you know, they have black blood, they have different colors. We all know the normal blood color. If you're not having the normal blood color, it could be anyway. The color also changes depending on that day. The first day, abasinga, you may have brownish blood, which is okay. Then on the second is when you have the highest flow and you have maybe the reddish blood, which is also okay. But there are abnormal colors like black. Someone goes through periods, then when you remove your knicker or your pad, you find some black particles on it. You find some other particles that are solid. I think it is not normal and you need to see a medical worker. Yes, you need to see a medical worker if you have those solid particles. Naturally, if you're having, we all know the normal intensity of the blood. The normal blood, a normal person on the second day should have 3.5 grams of blood on the second day. The second day we believe is the day with the highest blood flow. But then there are some people who have excess. You change a pad like 5 times a day, 6 times a day. So you need to see a medical worker that is being abnormal, or when you have very little blood. For people that have ever menstruated before, like for a year, 2 years, 3 years, we can easily understand this. But For those ones that have just started menstruating, it might be hard for them to know whether they are releasing too much blood or little blood, but then you have to monitor your period. You have to keep monitoring it, so that in case you see any changes, you need to see a medical worker. So when you talk about natural women above 45 years, you're most likely to reach your menopause stage. Menopause oba tokyazala and tokyagenda mu nsonga z'ekikazi, tokyagenda mu periods. It's between 45 to 50 years. Some can be at 52, 53, menopause, but then it's around that age. So when you reach that age, you're no longer seeing your periods, you don't see your period. It's very normal. It's actually so very normal. Those are all signs of, I think now we can differentiate between what a normal menstruation is and what an abnormal menstruation looks like. And when you have the abnormal menstruation, you need to see a medical worker. Omusayi guvaamu mungi nnyo, omusayi guvaamu mutono nnyo, omala nnaku nnyingi beyond 7 days. You go to 10 days ng'oli mu periods, you go to how many days ng'oli mu periods, you need to see a medical worker. Or you have fewer days, ogenda mu lunaku lumu, you go through in your periods for hours, you need to see also a medical worker. Thank you so much. Before we have a short break, I also wanted Jen to talk about the kind of food that you're recommended to eat during periods. When you talk about the kind of food is very important during periods. The type of food that you're feeding on is so much important during your periods, and then the kind of food that you should concentrate more on when you're having your menstrual period. Thank you.
Thank you, our host, Miss Sharon. But before we go to foods people should eat, there is something you talked about and I didn't know. Why should you say that people who are produced should not face that cramps, and it is only to people who have never produced? What would be the difference?
The difference here is, I think we need a medical worker to explain this. But medically, it's not normal for someone who has ever given birth. It's not normal for someone who has ever given birth to experience these periods. It could mean that the person is having a UTI or some other STDs. But then it is not normal. Cramps are normal for people that have not yet given birth. So if someone has given birth, it turns into something else. Yes.
Okay, thank you, our moderator. So we are still on our topic of today, menstrual health. So now we are going to talk, I'm going to talk about foods that people should avoid when they are in their periods, and the food you should feed on when you're in your periods. So there are foods that are not allowed. Even some drinks are not allowed. If, for example, to people who take alcohol, it is not allowed to take alcohol when you're in your periods, because this alcohol, when you drink it, there is some heat it creates in your body. These heats may change the hormones in your body, which may lead to excess flow of blood in your body. So you may end up losing more blood that you were not supposed to lose due to the increase of the heat in your body. And also foods like sugary food, fats, you're not allowed to feed on it, because this changes your hormone. And also about the fat, these fats sometimes they cause clotting in our body, which may affect the flow of the blood. So the foods we are supposed to be feeding on during this period, it is fruits. You're allowed to eat fruits. You're allowed to eat some good fruits like mangoes, like vegetables, dodos. Those are the things you're supposed to feed on. This local food, todukira ku chips and chicken when you're in this. Local food is the best food to feed on when we are in our periods. So to people who take alcohol, please, during that period, avoid alcohol, because we may lose you, you may die. So that is it, Miss Sharon.
Thank you so much. And to add on what she had said, said about the type of food that we're supposed to eat during our periods. We also talk about jinga. We're supposed to feed on this jinga because it curbs issues like nausea. Wali abamunga, when they're in periods, they feel like vomiting every time. Bawuliranga bagala sesema. So it's advisable to take jinga or inzo take amuchai. It really helps to curb this problem of nausea. Then also there are some things that are really normal during periods, although sometimes most people feel shy or they don't want to talk about it, maybe because, but then I believe we should be open. We should call a spade for that 11-year-old, that 10-year-old that is just starting to menstruate, to understand this. There are issues like diarrhea. It's really normal for some people to experience diarrhea during their periods because when you're menstruating, there is too much hormonal imbalances that happen within you between the progesterone and the testosterone hormones in your body. They keep on imbalancing, so they bring about different things. They are the ones that bring about mood swings, they bring about cramps, they bring about diarrhea, gassing. It's so normal for someone to be in periods and is always kunyapa anyap every time. No, this is normal. This is, yes, due to hormonal imbalances, there is production of testosterone hormones, yes, that is responsible for gassing. So no veranga onyapa nyapa. It's really so normal to ina kutia nyapa. It is very okay. You just have to learn your body. No, you can't me when I'm in this period, this is what happens to me, and then you learn how to go about it. You learn how to control it. That diarrhea, you learn how to control it. Just where you got, it's about, these things are just about you learning your body. This is what happens to me during this, and it is very normal. It is very okay. You don't have to feel afraid. You have to be happy. Or in a son, you can't go love your periods, because it shows that you're woman enough. This is a biological, a natural thing. No government, it's disgusting to you. There's nothing you're going to do about it. There is nothing you're going to do about it. You just have to learn to live with it the best way. The best way on how you can live with the periods. If you have any mikolo, you have makeup, you want to study makeup, makeup, or kwanjula, graduation, any kind of party, and you need makeup, you can contact Sharifa's Beauty Glam. She's located at Tower Mall, room C303, opposite CPS, or you can contact her on 0709 771 772. Then for those that want secretarial studies, you want to study computer, you want videographing, you want a lot of things, web designing, graphics, animation, among others, you can contact Pimpa Academy. It's located at Princess Complex, just next to Kasubi Roundabout, room number B1. You can contact him on 0703 91 99 71. And then if you want to continue watching the Perception Show, you download the Fiktube app from your Google Play Store, or you can find us at www.fiktube.com, and then you'll be able to watch us every Saturday at 9 p.m. This is so educative. It is so entertaining. It covers every type of person, the children, the elderly, the young, the women, the what. Mwena, it's so important. With so much love from Perception, it's me, Sharon Ilalo. Let's have a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. Let's continue with the Monica has just joined us. Monica, would you love to introduce yourself to the viewers? Okay.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm called Monica, Nantume Monica, a student of Makerere University and a finalist. I happen to be a young entrepreneur. I do bakes. I do bake cakes and all the confectionaries, like cakes, cookies. That is everything that goes into baking. I do. Thank you for inviting me to the Perception Show. I'm humbled.
Thank you so much, Monica Nantume. We're still talking about menstrual health and management among women, adolescent girls, everyone. But then, although it's a women's issue, I'll repeat, it's something that happens to women, but it concerns all of us. It's not a women's issue, although it happens to women. It is so mandatory for you as a man, as a father, to know this, as a husband to know this, as a brother, a friend. We're all supposed to know this because we're supposed to educate those girls around us, those people around us, and help them have a happy menstrual life. Yes. So we talked about the menstrual cycle. I'm going to talk about the safe days. I'm going to illustrate more on the safe days. Allow me use this chart behind. When we talk about the safe days, I mean those days when you're less likely to get pregnant. You cannot get pregnant if you're a girl. There is no kind of man that can get you pregnant when you're on those days. Yes, so most people say safe days, Tezikola. I don't believe in safe days. They don't work. They don't do this. It's because of a number of things. We have failed to, you're supposed to, before you start using the safe days, you're supposed to consider a number of things before you start using them. Things that include family planning. When last did you use family planning? So when you're going to use the safe days, you should make sure that your hormones are well balanced. You didn't use family planning like a month before or 2 months before. The pills. At least if you use family planning, let it be a condom, let it be withdrawal, let it be breastfeeding, or some other non-hormonal family planning method. But if you used a hormonal family planning method, then you first give your body time to rejuvenate, time to set itself, to come back to normal, for the hormones to balance. Then you can start using the safe days. So most people have gotten pregnant during the safe days because they are still having the effect of the family planning they were using before. So if you've been using any family planning, give your time at least 3, 4, 5 months for your body to rejuvenate, for your hormones to balance. Then you can use the safe days. Let me illustrate. I'm going to illustrate on someone that is having a cycle of 28 days. If your menstrual cycle is of 28 days, then these are your safe days and the dangerous days. This is going to be our menstrual cycle. This is the first day, and this is the 28th day. Let's say maybe we are in February. So this is the second day, the third, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and then 28. Those are 28 days. This is our cycle. Let's say you started your period on, this is February. Let's assume your period ended on 31st of January. Your period ended before this day on 31st of January. You're expecting your next period to happen after the 28 days because your cycle is a 28-day cycle. So if your period you ended your period on 31st February, your cycle begins on this day till this day. So you count 14 days from the day you ended your periods. You count 14 days from 1st to 14. When you reach the 14th day, this is your ovulation day. Ovulation happens 2 weeks after periods, and that is the 14th day. This is exactly 2 weeks after your periods. So this ovulation day, it means rerunaku. It's the day that the egg is mature enough and moves from the ovary ready to be fertilized and comes to the placenta, waiting for the egg to do what? To fertilize it. But then when it fails to get when it fails to get fertilized, the sperm doesn't fertilize it, it comes out. So you always see that thing, that whitish, it's always whitish discharge on your knicker. It's actually the egg. That is ovulation that has taken place, and the egg, when there is no sperm to fertilize it, it's brought out. It comes out. But some girls don't really get the chance to recognize this. They don't get, because they don't study themselves. But because they already see the fluids, some fluids coming out of them, the normal ones, so they think it's also, they don't really put too much attention to it. But then that is ovulation. That is an egg that has come out on your 14th day. This is what happened. But then it is not guaranteed that ovulation must happen on your 14th day, because there are certain things that change within you. For example, the food you eat, the environment you're in, it changes your ovulation. So it might happen on the 13th day, or it might happen on the 15th day, not necessarily the 14th day. That is in case you change your eating habits, you change your environment, yes. But then when you have sex, sperms take 2 days when they are still swimming and alive in you. I don't know. This is 100% dangerous day. By dangerous day, I mean a day that you are 100% most likely to get pregnant. This is your 14th day. This is having 90-something, and this is also having 90-something%. So you're most likely to get pregnant on these days, 13th, 14th, 15th. But because sperms take 2 days when they are still alive in the body, when you have sex on the 11th day, and then remember 11th day you're not ovulating, the sperms are going to take 2 days when they are still alive, waiting to fertilize the egg. When it reaches the 13th day and ovulation occurs, they will definitely fertilize that egg. So making this day also being what? Around 70% dangerous these days. When you have sex on your 12th day, it can wait for ovulation. When it happens on the 13th day or on the 14th day, it can fertilize the what? It can fertilize the egg. So these days are very dangerous, like this. These are very dangerous days. From the day of your ovulation, count 3 days back and 3 days towards, because ovulation might happen on this day. And to be 100% sure, also do away with this day. Because what if it happens this day? Because it keeps on changing, but it cannot change from the 14th day to the 20th day, no? It can't change from the 14th day to the 19th day. At least it's somewhere around within. So if at all this is your ovulation day, count 3 days backwards and 3 days towards. These are only the days you can get pregnant. The remaining days are all safe days. So we have it's like about a week in the menstrual cycle. It's only 7 days that are dangerous. The remaining days are very okay, and you cannot get pregnant during those days. And also, most especially when you're having periods, you can never get pregnant during periods. When you're having periods, olinga asesema. Bobo sesema tosobola kulya ngo sesema. You can't be eating when you're vomiting. The uterus is shedding off its lining, and so it can't take in. You cannot get pregnant. So, my dear viewers, those are the safe days. I advise those people that are married, and I know some kinds of hormonal family planning methods that are dangerous. They have effects. You can adapt safe days. But before you use the safe days, I will remind you that make sure your hormones are balanced very well, because if you've been using family planning, hormonal family planning, I mean you've been using pills, you've been using injector plans, those kinds of hormonal imbalances, give yourself time, around 3, 4, 5 months, depending on which one you've been using, for your body to come back to normal, for your hormones to balance bulungi properly. Then you can adapt to the safe days. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then someone out there could be asking themselves, like, I talked about the abnormal periods. I talked about the irregularities in periods, whereby you're taking months, you're skipping periods, you're taking 2 months without your period, you're skipping a month in between your periods, or you're having periods within periods. You have your periods, then before your cycle before maybe you're having a 28-day cycle, and you're having another period before the time elapses. There could be so many reasons that could cause that. Monica, I don't know if you can elaborate more on that.
Thank you, Sharon. According to what you might see, the causes of irregularities during menstruation, the causes of those irregularities, you might find you're pregnant. That is the number one factor, being pregnant. It's an automatic thing. You will not see your periods when you're pregnant. That's why we normally get scared when you skip like 4 days to 3 days without seeing them. Those having normal, like regular periods. When you skip like 3 days, 4 days, you start asking yourself what went wrong, like what could be the cause. You start going, you might go, you check up. When you see that you're not pregnant, automatically those periods will come. The other factor is when you're using family planning, going through those family planning methods, you can either be using pills, injector plan, IUDs, and any other types of like family planning. Some of the problems we face using those family planning methods, you never see your periods normal. You might take too long to go into those periods, or you definitely, by the time you start using them, you'll be seeing your periods till you seek medical attention. For example, when you use injector plan, you might, because injector plan, one thing I know about it, it's for three months. It goes up 3 months, then you go for another shoot, So you tend to go through those periods for the rest of those 3 months. You'll be seeing your periods for the rest of those 3 months. Those are the irregularities we see. You're supposed to go into a normal period from 3 to 7 days. Those are the normal days when seeing your periods, and it's supposed to be every month. You're supposed to be seeing your periods, because those ovaries, each side produces an egg per month, you see. So the other reason is, some people have they're blessed with the natural family planning methods. For as long as they're breastfeeding, they will never see periods. I'm not so sure whether it's supposed to be called irregularity, but you will not see your periods for as long as you're breastfeeding. So when you're out there experiencing that, just know that it's normal, because you have the reason as to why you're not seeing your periods. You're breastfeeding. When you start weaning that child off, you'll see your periods. The other reason is some are fibroids, the uterine fibroids, ebizimba by'abaana. They cause irregularities during menstruation. You might find, because those fibroids, they tend to make the uterus think that you're pregnant, yet you're not pregnant, because they produce themselves on that lining of the uterus to make it assume that it's a baby. It's a baby. So you might stop seeing your periods, because when you get pregnant, that the ovaries stop producing these fallopian tubes. They stop producing the ovaries. So them assuming that those fibroids are babies, yes, they are too sensitive. They will stop producing. So you might stop seeing your periods, and that causes abnormalities. Any girl, any woman who does not see their periods, it's abnormal, my dear girls, my dear women. It's abnormal. The other thing I normally hear, when you go into new places, change of the environment might cause you to prolong the periods, or to shorten the periods. Because when you're in Kampala, Kampala is moderate. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. But try to go to Gulu. Try to go to Gulu, try to go to any other, or to Kabale, which is too cold. You might find yourself when you delay to go into your periods, or you hurry to go into your periods. So that's what I think I know about some of the irregularities that come, that you might find or you might face ever since you started going into menstruation. Those are the irregularities that I searched about. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Monica. We've seen that every girl that has started menstruating must have the period every month. If your cycle is for 25 days, then you must have it at that period. Though it may take longer, maybe 2 or 3 days, or lesser days, because of certain things like Monica has talked about, change of environment, change in food, and all that. But also there are other medical disorders that can cause about delay in period. Maybe when you have fibroids, and these fibroids could be caused by family planning, they could be caused by a number of things. So we've seen that fibroids also block the blockage of the blood, where the blood is supposed to pass to come out is blocked. So the blood keeps on piling, and the fibroid tissue keeps on increasing in size every now and then. Yes, then also there is someone out there who could be wondering, I'm 14 years, my friends of 11 are already menstruating, and me, I'm not yet menstruating. Could something be wrong with me? No, dear, you're very, very okay. We are not supposed to begin menstruating at the same age. If you're 14, you haven't, you're still okay. If you're 11, you've started, very, very okay. This is just due to hormonal imbalances, as we've talked about, and also genes. If your mother started at 11 years, then you're most likely to start at that period of time, because we differ, we have different hormones. So, but then if you're around 18 years, it's normal to begin your periods from 11 years or 10. These days even we see people of 9 years having periods. And see Achuka, we are eating a lot of different things that are changing everything. We are using different chemicals, we are using family planning and all that at a very early age. So people are starting these things when they are still young. Even 9 years, it's very okay. I recently saw a girl of 9 years in pubic hair, having pubic hair so people are maturing so fast. It's very okay at 9 years. Between 9 years to 16, 17 years. If you're 16, you haven't started, it is okay. If you're 15, you haven't started, it's okay. But if you go beyond 17, you're 18 years, 19, 20, and you have never seen your period, then I advise you see a medical worker and you get examined to see what exactly is causing this. And then also some people would be asking, if I'm having cramps, how can I manage it? How can I reduce my cramps? What should I do to make sure that I reduce on the pain? Because when you're in your periods, my dears, you're supposed to continue with your daily schedule. If you've been washing every morning, you're supposed to continue with it. Periods are not sickness. Toli Murade, until no, I'm in my period, so I'm not going to school. It's not a sickness. I'm in my period, so I'm not doing house chores. Nedam Kwano, you're supposed to continue with your daily schedule as you've been doing it. You're supposed to continue cooking as you've been doing it. You're supposed to continue your life normally the way it has been, even when you're in your periods. So if you're out there and you're having pain and you feel you want, what can you do on reducing the cramps that you're always having during periods? Let Jen tell us what we should do as who have cramps and we want to reduce it.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Sharon. Before I go to people who get cramps during their periods, this activity we have right now, we are not educating girls. We are not educating girls and women only. We are also educating boys, because there is this girl who will be born and finds only brothers at home. So you brothers should also be learning. We are not educating girls only here. Yes. So to people who have cramps or who normally faces cramps during their periods, you need to take warm water, because this warm water may make this warm water makes the blood not to contract. Yes, it makes the blood to keep flowing than creating those particles, which leads to cramps during your period. So you need that warm water. Some people take tea. Tea is very nice, especially when it is warm. Yes, warm. So another thing, people need to make exercises during that period. You don't need to feel pain and you start sleeping. The more you sleep, the more you make your body inactive. So you need exercises at least. When you're feeling that pain, make an exercise around. You can decide to make up even if you know how to do fresh ups. Yeah, you can do that if you can manage to dance around. Some people, yes, some people nowadays music is there, so you can dance around in your room to make your body active to avoid that cramps. Thank you very much. I think I have that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to talk about personal hygiene. We all know blood is disgusting. And we all know periods are something. If you're not clean enough, if you don't maintain personal hygiene, you could stink for your friends. Even for your own self, you could stink and then you could feel disgusting and uncomfortable, out of place. Yes. Also, you should ensure that you maintain personal hygiene at its peak. Kubanga, you're supposed to be clean, mostly when you're in your periods. Shower, never, at least, if possible, if you can, bathe 3 times a day. But if you wake up in the morning, go to school and come back in the evening, then you can do it twice. Don't bathe once. Golimu periods, you bathe once a day. Even if you're not in periods, you're not supposed to bathe once. Now just imagine you're in your menstruation and you're bathing once.
I have something to say.
Okay.
Okay. Take an example of those people who work. They might not get a chance of bathing twice, but I think they should do something. They should change. You know, they should change. Yes, but not this bathing, because some people, their jobs don't favor them to have a twice shower in a day, you know. Okay. So I think talk about that.
We all know, being ladies, we all know vaginal wipes, right? Yes. You're supposed to move with a packet of vaginal wipes in your handbag. So if you're leaving home, you shower, you go for work. When you feel you need to change your pad, this depends on the person's flow. It differs. You may want to change your pad after every 2 hours, after every 3 hours, depending on your flow and the kind of pad that you're using. Before you change it, if you don't have water to clean that place thoroughly, to clean up, then you can use the vaginal wipe and wipe that place. When you feel it's clean, then you change your pad and you're good to go. But when you get back home in the evening, make sure that you shower. It is advisable to use lukewarm water to wash that area, more so when you're in your period. And also, you're not supposed to, okay, there are girls who are like, you need to wash it. Yes, I'm serious. There's some girls that really, they wash the place like bayozalugoye, and then they want to ensure that the place is so. Because when you wash that place thoroughly, no yagalambu otukuzeo bulungi oyingize no bugalo yozeo bulungi, it's so dangerous. You're going to wash away the useful bacteria, because we have a natural useful bacteria within us that helps us to clean that place. I want to wear your zaoka, we tukuzaoka. Just go, you need to wash the outside part. Just to avoid kungulu. You're not supposed to enter inside. Actually, that place is supposed to be closed. It is only open, we all know, during sex and childbirth. If you're not having sex and you're not giving birth, that place shouldn't be open. You're not supposed to fix in your finger that you're washing it. It is so dangerous. Our hands have germs. Our fingers have germs. And that place is so dead. That is the place you should keep clean of all the parts of your body. Because every good thing comes from there. Every good thing is formed from there. So you're supposed to keep that place clean at its peak. So stop using your hands. You're washing up to don't open that place. Just wash the outside. Leave the inside to wash itself. Only open that place when you're either having sex or when you're giving birth. Yes. Then also I've talked about bathing. Don't use soap when you're undercoating. Ngaweta waza tokosa sabuni, because soap contains certain chemicals that are not safe, that are not good for that place. So do not use soap. Just use water, plain water. It could be warm water or water with room temperature, lukewarm water. Yes. Then also, how are you going to dispose of these sanitary towels that you're using? If you have a pit latrine, you could dip it into a pit latrine, but do not use a flushing toilet to dispose of these sanitary towels, because it may get blocked. And you don't go around scattering the pad everywhere, throwing it. My auntie used to tell me, you know, the Baganda, embo we sanga your used pad somewhere. Embo we jiria, togenda kuzala. I don't know how true is that, but I believe maybe it's a myth. Yes, to help you know how to dispose your thing, bulungi. If you have, you either dispose it in a pit latrine, you dip it inside, or you can burn it. You can burn it. If you have an incinerator, you can put it in an incinerator. For those that have, yes, that is, you're supposed to be clean. And yes, it's sacred. And whenever you are menstruating, whenever you touch down there, maybe you're cleaning up yourself or what, wash your hands thoroughly with soap and running water. Clean, not simazimu bafu no ganabamu gaina beranga gakola chigaraninga to wash away that bacteria. Yes, thank you so much. As yes, Jen.
Yes, I wanted to add about how a girl can avoid that bad smell. Yes, because during that time girls swell a lot. Swelling, you sweat a lot, not sweating. Yeah, you sweat a lot. So some people can use a nimu or a michungwa. If you cannot get nimu, you use yes, lemon is the best thing to use. You cut it in the middle. That is how you cut it. Then you keep rubbing this side. Like when you're going to bathe, you use it as a soap. Yes, yes. Also steaming. You had promised me to talk about steaming. Okay.
I don't know if time is going to allow us, but I also felt like we needed to talk about steaming. We needed to talk about this type of steaming is different from the saunas that we know, the facials that we know, but vaginal steaming. I'm going to do it in just 2 minutes with the interest in time. Vaginal steaming. This is done immediately after your period. When you feel, you take 3 days, and after the 3 days, you steam. Why should you do vaginal steaming? Vaginal steaming is important in that there are some girls, when you're done with your periods like today, the next day you're fine. You're not seeing any blood coming out. But after that, the next day, you're seeing little blood still coming. It's not getting done. You've gone to the 5th day, and it inconveniences, you know. You put on your pad, and then nothing comes, and then you're like, what's happening? Then the day you don't put it on, it comes. It is normal. It is not bad. But to avoid such inconveniences, you steam. When you steam, all the dirty things within that had not yet come out. This blood is dirty blood. It's meant to come out. It's all released and it all comes out. And also why you should steam is because when you're in your periods, you put on a pad, there's too much warmth in there, and also the blood. It is a very fertile place for breeding of bacteria. So you steam to do away with this bad bacteria that may have developed in your vagina during that period. So this is how you steam. You either get ginger and tangauzi, or you get lemon. You can get lemon, sorry. Yes. You can get lemon fruit or lemon leaves, the tree, the leaves. Or you can get both, lemon fruits and lemon leaves. But don't mix the ginger with the lemon. Use one. Any of the two. So when you get these lemons, put them in a saucepan, pour water, and let it boil together with it. When it boils, put the water down, allow it to, because after boiling, that heat is again beyond, it's too much for the place. So allow it to cool a bit. I won't say cooling, and I won't say it has to be warm. It has to be that temperature beyond, yes, that you feel the yes, yes, exactly, the steam. So pour it into a bucket and sit on that bucket for 10 to 15 minutes. When you do that, you're opening ozivikule misuwa. You're opening the what? The tubes, and every dirty thing will come out bulungi. Fresh air will be able to enter bulungi. So it's so important for you to steam every after your period, or you can do it every 3 months. Thank you.
How many minutes do you take to steam?
It's only once. You do it once immediately after your period. You can do it for minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. After that, then you call it, you're done with it. Yes, let's have a short break. Before we go in for a short break, I told you if you want to look nice and amazing like me, you can contact Sharifa's Beauty Glam Mwala Mulunji nyo at an affordable price. If you want makeup, you have birthdays, you have introductions, you have weddings, contact Sharifa's Beauty Glam at Tower Mall, opposite CPS, just next to Kochi Towers. You can find her at room C303, or contact her on 0709 771 771. Then for those that want to do computer studies, graphics, animation, you want to do videography, you want to do web designing, you can contact Pimpa Academy at Princess Complex, just next to Kasubi Roundabout, or find him on the following numbers. That is 0703 91 99 71 or 0782 83 88 92. Let's have a short break and we'll be back with the last session of the Perception. As I told you, you can watch us every Saturday on Fiktube. If you don't have the app, please download it on your Google Play Store, and then don't forget to like, follow, comment, and subscribe. Let's have a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. We're still talking about menstrual hygiene among the adolescents, menstrual health and hygiene among the adolescents and women. Though it is not only an issue for the women, it's an issue for all of us. Although it's only the women that experience it, it is so mandatory for you as a man, as a father, as a doctor, as a boyfriend, as a brother, as an uncle, to know this, because it would help not only one person. It would, you may pass the information to this one and then she passes on to the other one. You could help a number of people. So I believe it's an issue for all of us. Find us only and only on Fiktube. You can download the app from your Google Play Store and then subscribe. You'll be able to watch us every Saturday from 9 p.m. or you can find us using this link, www.fiktube.com. We are going to give our last remarks to the viewers, and then we can say goodbye to the show for today. Jen, what are your last remarks to the viewers?
Thank you, Miss Sharon. As we conclude, my last remarks to people, to viewers, to people, still nkubiriza abalenzi. I've seen it as a problem in the society where people have gone ahead to think menstruation should be known by only girls. Manange mbakubiriza mugoberere ebintu bino bye tubasomeseza leero. It is useful. Naffe ke tuyizeeko, ke tulabyeko, ke tuleeta wano ne tuyigirizaako brothers and sisters who don't get a chance maybe to get them from where we have got them. So nze abayagala kungobera, by the way, you people follow me on Twitter, nabagamba I use Mutusi Jane, even on Facebook. Follow me. I want to see your comments there. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, a nice night. Bye bye.
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. My remarks are like, dear girls, mostly young girls who are just beginning, who are just starting this stage, please enjoy it to the maximum. It's very natural, it's very healthy. You see the use of menstruation, you know. feel like enjoy it to the maximum, please. Like, make sure it should be confidential. You're not supposed, not even your closest friend at school, unless otherwise, is supposed to know. You're supposed to enjoy it yourself. Because when you want to make people know about your menstruation, you start, like, they'll see spottings on your uniform, your skirt, your trousers. But enjoy it, it should be confidential. You're supposed to be clean. You're supposed to maintain your hygiene, extreme, to the extreme, because you make people notice about your secret, you know. And about women, even let me talk about these women. Women, we tend to neglect it, because Shan said about it, when you give birth, some changes occur. We haven't experienced those changes, but you're supposed to educate other girls, even if it's your neighbor's child, because I personally, I didn't happen to go through them when I was with my mom. Someone else taught me, someone else made me go through those periods safely. Educate that young child, you see, your neighbor's child. You know, some parents go and work, but they leave that little girl, and they happen to go into them with the absence of their parents. Take them through, you know, make them feel okay with those periods, you know. It's not a curse, it's not a sin, it's not something bad, because me, myself, I felt like dying, because I didn't know what to do, you know. Make them feel safe. I remain Monica Nantume. I beg you can find, I use Nantume Monica on Facebook, Instagram, and I post my works there. You find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you know. TikTok, because we put our things mostly on TikTok, because it has come the most, you know, the handle. Yeah, it's very influential. You find them there. Even the Perception, continue watching us every Saturday on Fiktube. Download the Fiktube app, you know. The very educative sessions you find on the Perception. Some of the people have never seen about, they've never heard of menstruation. You're going to know about it. You know, we are humans. We get to know about them. So please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Fiktube. You know, download the Fiktube app. You get to know about the Perception. Thank you so much, Sharon, for the invite. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so happy. Though I don't want to end the show, I have nothing to do, because I don't control time. Time is moving, and some other people want to come in. Some other show wants to come in today. We've learned a lot about menstruation, and I want to emphasize more also on understanding us as girls. Men should understand us. Our boyfriends, our fathers, our brothers should understand that we have mood swings during menstruation. You should understand that. When I'm in my periods, you should be lenient with me. You should carry those girls well. You should be lenient with them. Understand that someone is having mood swings during her menstruation, and don't add on to that the headache, the cramps that she's having. Be so loving, be so caring to these people. And also men that want to have sex with their wives, with their girlfriends when they're menstruating, it's really so unsafe. We didn't talk about it in details, but it's unhealthy and unsafe. You should do away with sex during periods. And also understand that even if your girlfriend wants it, because some people's libido rises during periods, yes, but then you can advise her not to do it during periods. And also, I repeat saying that, understand us. When we are in periods, we have mood swings. You should handle us with care. You should know how to treat us when you're having periods. Thank you so much. As I had told you earlier on, if you want to look nice, do you want makeup? Do you have an introduction ceremony? Do you have a birthday ceremony? Do you have a graduation ceremony? You have any kind of ceremony and you need makeup. You need to look nice. You need to look cute. It's in our nature as women to look like flowers. We are flowers, and so we have to look nice. We are like flowers. So I advise you to go for Sharifa's Beauty Glam. She's so good. She's so affordable. She customer care Kuntindo. Please contact Sharifa's Beauty Glam. She's located at Toa Mall, just next to Kochi Towers, opposite CPS at room C303. Or you can call her on 0709 771 772. And also those that want to do secretarial studies, you want to do computer studies, you want to do graphics, animations, web designing, you can contact Pimpa Academy. It's just at Princess Complex next to Kasubi Roundabout. You will not get lost. When you reach Kasubi Roundabout and you ask for Pimpa Academy, everyone knows it. Or you can call them on 0703 91 99 71. Or their MTN is 0782 83 88 92. Thank you so much. With so much love from Perception, it's me, Sharon Ilalo. Till we meet again. Bye.